He came from the cemetery. Hello, my name is Josh, and I want to tell you what happened to my brother James. I am currently 24 years old, and my brother would be 30. This happened 5 years ago. I was 19 and my brother was 25. My family had my mother, my older brother, me, and 2 younger sisters. All of us from different fathers, but with the same history of parental neglect. My mom raised the 4 of us alone. James and I started working early to help her around the house, even before me. My brother was an exemplary guy. Attentive, he took care of us. My mother was also always a warrior. At that time, I remember that I worked in a fast food while completing my studies. He worked in a hospital. He was a nurse. He didn't live with us anymore. But I always helped my mother with the household bills. My brother was a social drinker, and he didn't do drugs either. I've always smoked weed, and I remember him not liking it. Plus, our lives were going well. Until everything happened after a friend of his died. They were very close, childhood friends. At that time, my brother was already married and planning to have children. He lived with his wife, who also worked and helped with household bills. When this friend of his died, he went to his funeral, which was in a cemetery in another city. When he returned, the first few days seemed normal until everything in his life started to go wrong. It started with a car crash. My brother got distracted looking to the side and ended up hitting a gentleman's car. No one was hurt, but my brother was left with the damage of the gentleman's car that he had dented. When I found him, he was sad. I knew it was because I had gone to his friend's funeral. I tried to joke and comfort him, but nothing worked. I went a few more days without seeing him, and I found out that his bad phase was starting. That same week he got into a fight at work with a client and lost his job. And I also learned that he was having problems at home. I made an appointment with him and we talked. He told me he didn't know what to do. All of a sudden his life seems to be in ruin. I asked him to keep calm, that this is just a phase. I asked him how he had lost that job, and he said that a customer showed up there and started to test his patience to the point of wanting to humiliate him. That's when he said he lost his mind with the person himself. His boss saw it in the hour, and he was fired in front of the customer who kept mocking him. I asked him about his problems at home, and he said that his wife started having jealousy attacks out of nowhere towards him and other women, even without having a reason. I kept thinking to myself, what could be happening to him? I had to find a job for him, so my sister who came after me called me to talk about him. Her name is Julie, and she said that this could be a spiritual problem he was going through. I asked her how she came to that conclusion, and she said that she dreamed of a man all in black, and there seemed to be smoke with him, following and watching my brother. And she said that she also saw this same man next to him. She has always seen spirits since she was a little girl. This left me very confused in the face of the situation. The days continued to pass, and my brother was getting worse. His marriage had ended. He was now single and living alone. I got him a job at the fast food place I used to work. But the problem was that he started drinking, not socially anymore. It was the first time I saw my drunk brother arriving late for work. He was scolded in front of me by our superior. It wasn't long before he quit his job and got another one. But I realized there was something wrong with him. He was very distant from the family. My mother asked him to come home, but he didn't want to. Until Julie told me that she found out that what he had. It was a spirit that had come with him from the cemetery, from the funeral of the friend he had gone to. She said that she reached this conclusion studying with some friends she met on the internet who have the same gift as hers, which she called clairvoyance. They explained that this is an obsessive spirit which is leaning against my brother. I asked her what to do about it. She said that only he can remove that influence. I tried to talk to him, and he didn't believe anything I told him. I also spoke to my mother, who had the idea of taking him to a church, which he refused. She had now become an alcoholic. She was always drunk. She no longer looked like the brother I had known my whole life. I also had a dream about him, and in the dream I saw that man. He was pale, his clothes were black, and he was enveloped in black smoke. He followed my brother where he was going, and in the dream when he saw me, I woke up. There, scared in the middle of the night, I understood that what my sister was saying was real. When I tried to talk to my mother, I found her in the kitchen crying her eyes out. When I went to ask why, my mother told me that my brother had been involved in a fight in a bar and had been shot 5 times and died instantly. Our world there was shaken. It was horrible news for our entire family. Julie then said that it was all that spirit's fault, that he was responsible for our brother's death. And I believe yes, because I dreamed and saw that. Today our entire family is still in mourning. My brother's killers will never know who they are. And it also breaks my heart. If we had managed to help him in some way, I believe the ending would have been different. Plus that spirit that came with him from the cemetery, it really was real. Talking to his ex-wife, she said he had changed from water to wine after that burial, really. Just confirming for me everything. We know what happened, we don't understand why or why. I will always miss my brother, along with our family. I never thought a spirit would be so dangerous. And that's today's story. If you liked it, subscribe.